With you. Sorry, Chris. Greetings, salutations, everybody. How is everybody doing? Yeah, I know it's such a true. I used to sit in my room as a wee teenager, sort of learning that song and singing that song because I was a hopeless romantic, and thought that if I could sing that song, that girls would like me. Chris Isaac, who was also in the film Silence of the Lambs. He was the head of the SWAT team. See, the apple does not fall far from the tree. Right, bless you. Hello, everybody. How are you? How have you survived the last couple of days? For those in the UK in particular, how have you survived the last 2 days of extreme heat? Because it has been a little bit on the warm side, hasn't it? Where I actually work, it was quite warm. It actually got up to 100 degrees Fahrenheit on Monday. It was only expected to get to about 97. Tuesday was meant to be the hotter day, but where I was like checking up on temperatures on like that app on your phone, all the little areas sort of thing that I have on there, and it was like, oh my god, I'm out of all the areas that I check, so like Southend, Benfleet, and a few other places, it was the hottest. It's like, geez, that is warm. I survived the heat only to catch the Rona. Oh no! That's what that's basically you've been seeing M recently, have you? Because she's actually got that as well, hasn't she? Yeah, not good. No. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sending hugs now. Yeah. Well, it's out there. It's there to catch us when we're unawares. So hopefully you don't get it too badly, and that you can actually, feeling lousy is worse, especially like the heat as well, which I know FC M's been dealing with. So hopefully, if you've only just come down with it, then you haven't got that to worry about. Hey there, Chris. Yeah, super hot in my work too, but enjoying a cool breeze tonight. It is quite pleasant. I've got the doors open just to get a little bit more fresh air in here. Hey Mac, how are you doing? And Judge, of course, who was foist in today. He's a beefy boy of the tank. But yeah, after doing the oil weathering on the first one, I thought, I know, I'll do the second one. Because it's here. So, Mr. Ron's. Oh, that's actually warmed me up, moving that around. My God. Trying to get lights. You can see it anyway. Around 100 in the Mid-Atlantic here in the US, as well as like common for the time, yeah. Building a Frixie. Well, hopefully, if you can hobby tonight, that will help you distract you from the heat and any other illnesses and woes that we all might have. Wonder what it was. We have a cat visitor. Cat. That's Franny. Franny is now gone. Building my first Mark 6 from the Age of Darkness box I got on Tuesday. Nice. Actually, what talking about Mark 6? Posted this earlier today. I'll just get this out of the way. This is something I've been working on. This is going to be a console for my current army, which is the Saboteur console, and using the Mark 6 parts. That's actually from the Mark 3 kit. But yeah, so with the Saboteur, it comes with a selection of grenades and stuff. So I was using a Praetor model that I bought when I invested in these dudes, and so I thought I'd utilise that because I saw this part, which was from the Mark 6 kit, because I thought that looks kind of like, you know, infiltrate-y spec ops type thing. Butchered up this holster for the las pistol for the plasma pistol. I did try out a Volkite Serpenta because I had like a Forge World ones, but because of the angle of the arm and the hand, it wouldn't sit properly. So I wasn't going to get involved with trying to make it fit. So went with the plasma. Some Forge World melter bombs. So obviously they're the melter bombs. I'm using this as a satchel charge because it's quite a chunky weapon, chunky sort of kit piece. So it looks big enough for like a demo charge or something. Melter grenade there. I might put another one of them over here just to fill that up, because this dude does come with a cloak. So it's whether or not I'm going to keep the cloak, which I think I kind of like it with the cloak. It has a nice sort of sweeping sort of movement to it. So yeah, I might just keep with that and add it on later. Keep like I'm saying. Or the other option was to basically just put in some pouches and stuff under there, but with the cloak in place, you can just say, oh yeah, he has got pouches underneath there, you just can't see them. But yes, so that's the Saboteur console that I'm planning on utilising. Sorry, because I don't have my usual bit of grey card there, I can't actually do it. Yes, thank you. It does. I kind of like it. Yeah, it does look. You'll say just by changing a few bits, you can totally alter the aspect and look of a model. You know, just turning a head. I did that with when I got Rabute Gooderman, because obviously he's there. He's got his sword out like that sort of thing, and I actually changed the head direction. I had it from where you normally have him, because he's normally like looking towards like the point and all that, going this way sort of thing. I actually done his head looking the other way, as if he's going, I'm going to smack you with this sword I have in my hand, sort of thing. And I kind of like that. But it got a few likes on certain social media, so it was cool. Working on another Volturan Reaver, excellent. First time you've seen a cat visitor? Oh, we've had a few in the past, but obviously you might have been either having your sort of dinner breaks or, you know, airbrushing or something like that. But yeah, we have the odd visitor come in. We might get a couple more because we've now got the back part of the garden open up a bit, so we might get a few more animals turn up. Who knows? The night is but young. Shading a dire wolf, building a reaver, and ploughing into the Dos Equus this evening. Excellent. Excellent. But yeah, so back to what we was planning on. I'm just quickly going to have a look at the sprues, because as Ivy knows, we have to check the sprues just in case. So that's a right and that's a left. So we have the appropriate sprueness. Kratos left, Kratos right. So that's good. Turret weapons. and the main hole. So everything's there. Leaky, hello. Right there, buddy. Cooling down, and Ivy's finally got her sprue as well, which is awesome. Which is super awesome. Super major magnifico. Awesome. Glad I got the iconoclast done. You've done a really good job with that Vulturum iconoclast, to be fair. So it's it's looking particularly evil and demonic in its way, which I think is what you was actually after, wasn't it, really? But yes, so L1. I guess we're looking at this piece and this piece. So get on with that whilst we've got going. Yo Ivy, yo Forge, you. Yes. Down with the kids. But yes, welcome all. It's always nice to have anyone, but more importantly, it's nice to have you people with me, because you are all awesome hobbyists in your own rights. And it's always nice to hang out. Yeah. Just chilling up with my birds. That's what I'm doing. Chilling up with my birds. Even though it's still a little bit muggy over here, it is in no way as bad as it was the other day. So that's the main thing. Yeah, I was going for the Bane look. Yeah, he'd done a great look with that. I would say stepping on the Warhound, and the towel that you added to it really gives it that good characterful. Yeah, I'm a corrupted demonic titan. So, check the parts. Don't really have to go too mental on that. It's just obviously it was a little bit rough, so I had to get rid of some of the bits there. And these bits in particular, because obviously you have the plates falling into there. It's get that. So yes, so I was actually looking at the Battle Scribe, because they've actually started getting some of the newer stuff onto it for 2.0. Obviously these things sort of take time. I've heard that the other one, Army Builder thing, has been updated. Quartermaster, that was it, yeah, sorry. But I've never been able to operate Quartermaster properly. So obviously, because it's not as easy as I found Battle Scrub to be, I have a prejudice against it. It confuses me. And I haven't figured out how to actually add units as yet. So that also goes against it. But yeah, Battle Scribe have just got some bits and pieces. But from when I've done my sort of preliminary adding up, my variant, the Swiss Army knife variant, as Leaky called it, was coming out at around about 400 points, which was the Kratos battle cannon. It has obviously the not Volkite. Well, it does have the Volkite calivers on the side, sponsor mounted ones, and then the little hole sponsons when going with the auto cannons. And then obviously you've got the coax autocannon on the turret. So that's my favourite sort of setup for this badass of a tank. But it's obviously 2 of them in a squadron. There's 800 points. So I added that and a talon of contemptors, and that was 1400 points. So if you're doing a 2000 point game, it's like, wow. Gotta be tight on the HQ and the troops then. Not a lot left over for specialist units either. So obviously you want to be using these for bigger games. Oh, you're doing that as well. Excellent. I think Ivy was also planning on working on her Kratos as well. Got new water pot that another tuber was flogging called Paint Puck. Worth it. Cool little gadget. I'll just stick with my old mug. It works. It does the trick for me. That's all I'm worried about. Right. L3. Where are we hiding, L3? That's the flat one, isn't it? Cannot see woods for tree. Oh, there it is. So that's L3 because it's got this little flat back bit to go into the top section there. Yeah, I only heard of Quartermaster a couple of years ago, and some people like swear by it, but I suppose because I've never had. It's not one of those ones that it's just easy to navigate, and so yeah, it sort of put me off a little bit. And you know, I know what I'm doing for the most part with Battlescribe. So 3 Kratos as well. That's not bad going. I think that's the most people on one model. So that is just super awesome. But whatever you're working on, it's always super awesome. Let's sit some snuggly buggly there. L5. There are quite a few single bits. Kratos crew, oh yeah. Kratos, fuck yeah. Kratos Assualt Tank, fuck yeah. Sorry, get carried away a little bit there. Yes. Well, Ivy just asked there, Judge, what's so awesome about this paint pot? Spill the beans. I just realised I should be doing L4 stage, not L5 stage. Sorry, my bad. I'm not very good at this. So as long as you're not doing this at the same time as me, you're fine. There's Rob, who is on here regularly, regular viewer, Rob Walters, Poseidon himself. His finger slipped and he's bought himself a Charybdis. So it's not really a problem, but you know, these things happen. So, and then we go on to that up there. So this is the 5. Yeah, I did find the tracks on these just worked so much better compared to others. Yeah, that's what because I mentioned that before, because it was the Legion drop pod or the Charybdis, and when I said about the Charybdis being able to take a Leviathan, that's when he put it into his basket, and it's been in his basket for at least 3-4 weeks. But he finally pulled the trigger. Just went, I'm getting myself one of them, and he's got himself one of them. Another L5. So it is an impressive beast of a kit. Trimming its 3 parts, top, bottom are rubber, centre tube is hard plastic, comes in mug and glass sizes, top piece of soft holders to own room to hold it. Alright, that is pretty cool. Bottom has little googlies on the bottom for cleaning brushes and a wider lip around the outside to catch drips. Easy to clean, pretty neat. Sounds quite simple and easy to play with, which I'm all for. Don't overcomplicate your hobby. Bit of L6 action. Size. Yeah, it's funny how little things like that can actually make a significant difference to your hobby experience. But it's like with tradesmen, you know, like carpenters and builders and stuff. They start out with the basics, and with just the basics, they can only do basic stuff. But as they progress through their careers, they pick up other tools, other gizmos that can help them in very specific situations. So, you know, they can get a job done a lot quicker and easier because they have the right gubbins to use for that job. And that's kind of important when you want to employ somebody to do something for you and do it correctly. Reinforce corner gubbins. Definitely a gizmo, but a pleasant one. Well, that's cool. When we pretend that we're dead, pretend you're dead. Because I say that because I'm doing part L7. One of my many adventures when younger, and being involved in the band scene, as in musical bands, not being banned from things, from like college and stuff. You meet interesting people from other bands and stuff, and one of my mates from college, his dad had a band that we all sort of followed. It was a cover band sort of thing, just played like, you know, they hit certain songs and stuff, you know, popular older sort of like 70s and 80s songs pretty much. And they went by the name of the Loud Shirts, and so they always used to wear loud shirts. And the drummer in there was a guy called Nib, or Niblet. That's the only name I knew him by, was Niblet. But he was a really cool laid back dude, as like most musicians are. And through him, we had an adventure. We went to a venue in, I think it was at New Cross, and there was a band playing called the Butter Mountain Boys, and they were basically like a version of the Levelers. They were that sort of that time. Levelers had come out like a year or so earlier, thereabout, and the Butter Mountain Boys were basically a budget version in comparison. They had some, you know, cool little tracks and all that, but it was basically Levelers like. But through Nib, we was able to go into the green room because he knew people and stuff like that. And whilst in the green room, it had an attached toilet for the stars or the bands to utilise. So we were in the back chatting away to them and all that sort of stuff. Engine Phil is in the house. Warhorn. And so anyway, in this toilet, I utilised the facilities, and as I was in there, people from other bands had written messages on the walls, sort of thing. It was that sort of place, you know. I was here and that sort of stuff. But there was Jennifer, who was the lead singer from L7, had written a particularly beautiful poem on the wall, which I've never been able to forget, which was as follows. Sitting above the cold, dank water, giving birth to a hot fudge daughter. And she signed it, Jennifer L7. I was just like, wow. And this is like, L7 were popular, but obviously they'd been there and done their business at this club, because it weren't like a mainstream sort of club. It's like one of those, so you get all those bands where they're up and coming, they play these smaller venues. You might get about 200 people in there, sort of thing. But yeah, so that was one of the highlights of meeting the Butter Mountain Boys. Was going to the toilet and seeing these wise words. Sorry. All right. Engine Philip. Who knows? She might have penned the words to that song there. We don't know. We just don't know. And maybe we never will. You made my shit list. I'm going to listen to some L7. Yes, Filipito. How are you doing, dude? What are you up to? Are you working on Titans again? Evening Philip of the Engines. Felonious Maximus. If you do not have a character in one of your legions, your Astartes legions known as Felonious Maximus, then I'm having it. I am the namer of names. Wonder Woman. 2 L5s, please. That's all Kratos party time. There's 3 of us working on the Kratos tonight. What are you working on? Why are you hiding? Give you a fanfare and everything. Fans demand Phil. Exactly. He makes a very, very rare public appearance. You know. Yeah, you, Injin Phil. To be fair, Phil, you've had more responses to your showing up than ADB did when he turned up. You know, his name was blazoned upon there and nobody said anything. It wasn't until later on that someone said, "Was that really ADB?" Yes, it was. Deathwing Knights. Ooh. Wow. Ordinarily, it would be normally quite straightforward to know what Phil is working on, because it's either going to be Titans, Dark Angels, or Orcs. Although he's now doing Word Bearers. Do you hear that, Leaky? You've got an ally in the chat. Not so alone. Lol, this evening, yes. This evening, every evening. Ba -ba -da -ba -ba. Got ahead of myself there. Oh, actually, Leaky, because you like a little bit of the old military history type stuff. What? A new bearer of the word? Woohoo! Laughs a mustachioed villain. Hey, Em. Hello. Welcome. I hope you're feeling a bit better. Thank you for dropping in. It's lovely to have you here, as always. Just starting on my second super tonk. Because I am in the mood for tonkage. Infantry is all well and good, but the tonks is where it's at. M is our resident Death Guard. So yeah, we've got a lot of traitors in tonight. I've just realised that there's a lot of us. So I included myself in there. A lot of traitors in tonight. This is quite unusual. It's normally more on the loyalist side of things. Whereas, well, I fucked up again, don't I? Yes, there you are, you little bandito. I was just getting too overconfident with my tonkage. Must slow down. So, not only have we got multiple hobby legends in it. Let's be honest, this is probably the most, in my circles, this is a huge coup to have so many awesome hobbyists in one place. This is like the Horus Heresy Open Day, but without the pretentiousness. Or I could go a little bit pretentious if you want. I don't mind. You know, I'm easy like that. Just mix it up a little bit. But yes, if you haven't, which I can't believe anybody here doesn't follow either M, Electric Eve, or Leaky Cheese, Mr. Leaky Cheese, or even Engine Phil, because he's pretty decent with the old painting, you know. And anyone else who's here, you know, get on their social medias and follow these people. We need your love. We need your worship. Well, I'm building Imperial Fists. Oh, you're representing the good guys here, Chris. So that's something. Because I know with Judge, he's doing his traitors, legions, Titan legions. Well, he has been. His Audax. But yes, it's a bit warm. Damn it. It's all right. You know I love you all. Yes. That's one side, all tracked up. Huzzah! Right, I'm going to do what I did last time as well, because I don't do sub assemblies and shit for the most part. Like the Mark 6, I left the bolters off. That's the most sub assembly I've ever done with kits, really. I just build the fuckers. Get them done, and then just worry about it afterwards. It's not as if I'm going to take these parts off, is it? I know it could be easier, but bollocks. That is my phrase for today, because I'm in the Tonk zone and I'm enjoying myself, and I've got all you wonderful people here tonight, making it even more awesome. So thank you for that. Oh yeah, sorry, yeah. Well, yeah, that's the thing. M turns up, and of course I'm going to be distracted. You know, M is awesome. As awesome as you are, M is awesomer. I'm sorry, she is. But then again, I am just totally biased in that respect. But I love you too, Licky. You know I love you. Oh no, I'm offending everybody now. Oh my god, it's going to pot. Oh. Yeah, no, what I was going to say is Second World War. Hi, Em. Yeah, there was a TV series on in the 80s called Piece of Cake, based on a book by some author dude, obviously. And it was about a Spitfire squadron during the early days of the Second World War, basically the phony war, and then into the Battle of Britain sort of thing. And it was a very, I remember it, and it was very like, you know, again, you know, in those days, like, wow, this is amazing. I actually just, for some reason, it popped into my head the other day, and I actually went on a search and found it fairly easily, entire episodes on YouTube of it. And I've watched, there's only 6 episodes, they're about 50 minutes or so long. And I just binged them over the last 2 days. And I really enjoyed them. And it was like, there was a couple of guys in there you'd probably recognise from TV. One of them plays Barnaby in Midsummer Murders. It was actually his first role was playing a guy called Moggy, Spitfire pilot Moggy, in this actual thing. But it was actually really interesting because it was detailing, obviously, the phony war part of the Second World War. So it was interesting from that point of seeing things, because I'd forgotten most of it. So I just remember Spitfires. But yeah, it was quite enjoyable. And it was just like following this Hornet Squadron and their exploits, and it was more real in the fact that, you know, they're not going out there and they're not like shooting down everyone left, right, and centre and all that sort of stuff. So it was a little bit more sort of grounded in reality, sort of thing, not so much bullshit bravado. But it was actually quite enjoyable, and seeing as it's on YouTube, I'll find a link and I'll message it over to you. But I thought you'd probably appreciate that. It was a nice little look at life in that situation. Hey, Sophis. Welcome to the stream. Yeah, I didn't. You know when you're watching something and you go, I recognise them, I recognise him. And like there was like one actor I've seen in a few sort of like shows and all that. He's like one of those guys that pops up every now and again. And you go, oh yeah, I remember. But the guy who plays Barnaby in Midsummer Murders, I didn't know. Like he's got a moustache because obviously RAF got to have a moustache, yeah. But the way he was acting in that sort of thing, because he's a bit of a sort of his character's a bit sort of up himself a little bit, but he he wasn't so actually. I thought, I swear I know him from somewhere. And so I looked him up, and I thought, "Oh my god, I couldn't believe it! That was it. It was his first television role, and he went on to become Barnaby, Inspector Barnaby." Not so much Inspector Morse, because Midsummer is a fictitious town. But Morse was mostly around Cambridge, I think, or is it Oxford that he frequents? But yeah, no, there was Morse was Morse. Then you had Lewis, which was his sidekick, took over, and then they done like the prequel Endeavour, because Morse's name is Endeavour Morse, because yeah. He's, yeah. Obviously, you know, with British sort of like, you can't really say like hero characters, but like, you know, British like action heroes, which he's not an action hero, he's more of the, you know, the mental side you get with British cop sort of drama thriller things. Because obviously with American shows, they're normally called Jack. There's a lot of Jacks. Jack, John, mostly Jack. Jack Reacher, Jack Bauer, Jack Bauer, Jack Bauer, Jack Reacher, and Jack Ryan. That's it. So, whereas we like to mix the names up and then give them really stupid names like Endeavour. But yeah, you know, that's a lot really. Are you actually Em? Are you actually hobbying tonight, or are you just chilling whilst getting over the Rona? James Reese and Terminal. I've not seen Terminal List. Is that on Amazon? I've seen the name Terminal List somewhere. And if you've seen the Jack Reacher movie, which obviously had, or movies which had Tom Cruise in, the TV series is actually a lot more interesting. Ah, yeah, yeah, Moggy went on. So yeah, he's done a few things. You are hobbying, excellent. Are we tonking? Or are you doing your messing around with magnets? Oh, God help you with them. Oh, I was getting a right mess with magnets the other day myself. So, whew, yeah, dangerous stuff. Where the hell's that? Is that on another pit, isn't it? Ah, yeah, it is. Oh, yeah. Hole. Ho, 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 ho. Yeah, I kept on sticking myself to them, which is not advisable, especially when you're using the smaller ones for the Contemptor. That was interesting. Ah. Hey there, Luke. Welcome for coming in. I hope you've all found a means to stay cool to some extent. I just sweated it out. I was literally just swimming in my clothes, which was very unpleasant. And I don't think I've had, you know, well, I just got home from the kids yesterday and I thought I need a shower because it was like the hottest day ever for us over here. And I thought I'm gonna have a shower. I've got, you know, like you have to get yourself clean. You just feel so funky. And I've got in the shower, and for some reason the fucking hot would not come through, and it got a little bit warm, so I had some of that. I started washing, and then it just would no. It was fucking like ice block. Now, ordinarily, you know, if I was out, you know, at a centre park, so you've got, you know, the warm bits, the warm pools, and you've got the cold dunk or douche, whatever. You know, there's a place out in centre parks in Thetford Forest, up in sort of Suffolk Norfolk border area, near Thetford, and I remember they had this like it's only around about 3 foot wide. You can climb down into it, but it's like really ice cold, and so you go in it to like, you know, oh, you know, get the old blood flowing and all that, and people just dare themselves to drop into it and just like yeah, lose their breath because it's just so cold. But you don't expect that in your shower. Right? I wanted a little bit of like, you know, not fucking cold, you know, because you want to be, you don't want to be hot. You want it to be comfortable, pleasurable, even in fact. I stood in there for like 15 minutes, fucking about with all the settings, turning it off on again, trying to get this fucking thing to work. And it eventually didn't. So I just had a cold shower and just grumbled a lot, as I still am, as you can tell. And here he is, my brother from another mother. Artist Empire is in the house. After only seeing me about an hour ago on his live stream. Welcome, dude. And if you don't follow Artist Empire, follow him. Follow everyone. Fuck it. Follow everyone. We're very inclusive here. We follow anybody and everybody. Because we have no friends. I don't have any friends apart from my imaginary friends in the chat. I know you're all real. I've met you in one shape or another. Yes. And Rob's here as well. He's snuck in, that cheeky little scamp. Hits Empire with the like button. I used to take a short dip in Water Ring and put it on that one. If any of you ever need really, really strong magnets, I don't care about the shape of the magnets. Take apart an old hard drive. Yeah, we're going to start vandalising computers and saying, where can I put this on this Titan? fucking lost it. Where do I... There it is. I had the wrong turret bit thingy. What do you call it? As you do. Hi Phil, and everyone was busy painting destroyers and a termite. Out of our little task force of 20th Legion party members, groovers, Rob is absolutely blitzing through everything. He is unstoppable. And obviously you've probably seen his stuff on various places, interwebs and Instagrams, and it's all brilliant. Top tier, as M might have said. Where am I? I've lost myself. Oh, there I am. We'll go in there. Lovely. Build that tank, make it strong, make it badass. Went to Daventry yesterday, 5 hours in the car with the aircon on max, 6 hours in an aircon office set to Arctic, 30 minutes outside in the oven set to fan mode. Oh, insane heat, 42 degrees at 2:30 when I set, oh Jesus. That is warm. There was, I actually ventured out yesterday to go to the corner shop to just get some bits and pieces. I was looking after my boy, and so I'm walking along, got in the shop, got my stuff. I got myself, what was it? Some multivitamin effervescence, because I was going to put them into my my drink to obviously get in some more essential stuff into my body, like salts and whatever. Because obviously you sweat a lot. But walking down that road was quite intense. It was that sort of like, you know, when you open up the oven, heat coming out. And this old boy is just walking past us. I looked up at him and he said, "Lovely day, isn't it?" I said, "Yeah." It's, I would say a bit further than lovely. It's like murderous, trying to kill us. And I actually sat in the car later on as well. So I was had to pick up the ex, and she needed to go to some shops to get some supplies. So I thought, I don't want to socialise with the dregs of humanity, so I'm staying in the car. And that was a great decision, because if you get out, you're hot. If you're sitting in, you're still hot. Even though I was parked in the shade of a tree, I thought that will help. Windows open. Just, last 2 days has just been bonkers. Absolutely crazy. Well, you say that, right? When I went out to Australia in 2002, we first flew in from Japan into Cairns, and we were in like the foyer of the airport, and this was sort of like 6 AM in the morning, and we've phoned up one of the hostels, so that all the hostels in the local area have their cards on these like desks, so it was obviously a lot of backpackers. So we phoned up this one that my then girlfriend had stayed at when she travelled the world a few years earlier. So they said, oh yeah, we'll come pick you up. You know, just stay there. We'll be there in about 20 minutes. So I went, okay. Just go out the front and someone will pick you up. No problem. So we left it a few minutes and then thought, right, okay, it's been about 15 minutes. Let's go out the front and wait. And then, like the sun was coming up in the distance from behind the mountains. As soon as those doors opened and we walked out, we went from really comfortable to, oh my God, inferno heat. It was just like, where the hell did that go? Where did it go? Where did that come from? It was just like, it's only 6 o'clock in the morning. But yeah, I up until recently, I had never been as hot and sweaty in one place than being in Queensland in their winter, because their winter is actually really freaking hot. Oh well, no. Well, you get to bed, you rest up, and you know, like him, you know, just take it easy and don't, you know, don't push yourself or anything. All right. So you take care. I'll message you tomorrow and just check in on you. All right. So you be good and you make sure you keep hydrated and stuff. All right. Love you lots. Night night. Oh. For context, it was 44 here in Dallas yesterday. Oh, Dallas is always bloody hot, and people were warning about the heat. So having 42 there is unfathomable. Yeah. Yeah. So we all love you, Ivy. So you rest up and you get well. Okay? That is your job. Please get well. Oh dear. What was I doing? Yeah, sorry. Just worried that my hobby daughter is not well. And my friends are not well. And I'm just concerned for my friends that are well as well. It's not been a good week, hobby-wise, especially because obviously, yes, it is another Kratos. I bought 2 because I believe one of my favourite films to watch is one called Contact, which has Jodie Foster in it and Matthew McConaughey and Tom Skerritt and John Hurt in there as well. And it's John Hurt's character in particular I actually really like, because he's like an eccentric billionaire who bankrolls Jodie Foster's character's hobby. And there's this one scene which, if you haven't seen it, I'm not going to go into it, but he's just basically, he just comes out with his phrases, basically, first rule of government spending: why buy one when you can buy 2 at twice the price, sort of thing. And I just love the way he comes out with the whole speech. You've got to see the film if you haven't seen it, because it is a great movie. Some people find it a little bit weird at the end part, but it's not, if you think about it, because they sort of explain why they do what they're doing and stuff, and then the other stuff that happens, you go, oh, because stuff. So without giving spoilers away, it's a good movie. It's one of my favourite movies to watch, because it is just quality. And I love all that Carl Sagan stuff. But yeah, John Hurt was great in it though. This little man billionaire dude that people don't really like, because, you know, he does stuff. He's not a horrible man. It's just, you know, just a businessman at the end of the day. Why buy one when you can have 2 at twice the price? Aha! That's where it goes. Always confuses me, this bit. Yeah, he's McConaughey does say I think this is like the first film I ever saw with him in, and he has been a firm favourite ever since. Oh, poop. Alright, alright, alright. So that's left you done. Yeah, Matthew McConaughey. It was also because it was really weird because there's another character in there played by Jake Busey, but I always prefer Jake Busey from when he was in Starship Troopers as Ace Levy. Everyone should have a friend like me. Another quality movie. One that you don't have to really think about and is a parody. In a way, I think it's a parody. I think that's what it is. Directed by Paul, I think it was Paul Verhoeven of RoboCop fame. I hear James Woods is in it as well. Yeah. Oh yeah, the dude. He. Again, he's one of those actors that you've seen several movies, and is it William Sanderson? He was in the film Armageddon as one of the NASA pilots, the one of the ship that landed on the comet, and I can remember his character's name more in that because it's Colonel Willie Sharp. It's not a name you forget when you're sort of just a giggler at, oh, we said Willie. Starship Troopers is the best, worst adaptation of a novel ever. Yeah, obviously there was. At least it's better than the other two movies they did. The second one, Heroes of the Federation, was just like, oh my god, because the guy who did that was like the director, the sound director or something from Starship Troopers, and somehow he managed to do a straight to DVD Starship Troopers movie without Johnny Rico. Johnny Rico. Yeah, everyone should have a friend like me. It also sounds like something that would be inscribed on the side of a Rogue Trader era vehicle. No, that's fair. Yeah, they had a load of stuff on the sides of vehicles. Back in the old days. It sounds like my neighbours are in their back garden, hosing the grass and choking while smoking. As I say, no kids over the back today. This is quite unique. We normally have the sound of of teens over there hanging out, being like all hip and trendy. Oh yeah, I'm gonna go on the swings. Hanging out in a park where you get the boy racers. Say the boy racers just come up there, just park there, sitting there, listen to this. Listen to that infernal racket. Right, I think I'm going to have a little snack break. We have caramel. I saw this in a shop. I actually got this a couple of weeks ago, and I think it's just a new version of like Caramac. It definitely looks that way. It's Caramac. It's the same thing. So does anybody have any suggestions of anything cool to watch on TV at the moment? Because at present I've gone through most of my, I've caught up with everything. I've done my Strange New Worlds, I've done my, well actually I'm halfway through the Halo TV series, which is alright. It's Halo. But yeah, like I don't want to start rewatching The Expanse just yet for like the 7th or 8th time. Hey Yeekus, how are you, dude? You just popping in to say hi, or are you hanging around a bit? What are you up to? We are building Tonk. I do like to mix it up, so I say like I've been watching. I've caught up pretty much with Orville, which I wasn't sure at the start, but it has grown on me, and I do enjoy it. So it is actually quite a good, I did actually start watching For All Mankind, because obviously it's interesting because it's like what, for those who don't know, For All Mankind is basically what if the Russians had gotten into space first and then onto the moon first as well? How would that affect everything? I did also start watching the Right Stuff that had been released. Now, because I have such fond memories of the original sort of movie of The Right Stuff, I sort of, because it's been made into a series, it's probably a bit more accurate, I suppose, but I'm so, so part of the movie. The characters, it's just not, you're just not doing it for me. was again with Stargate SG-1. I didn't really get into that particular one because of the movie. You know, and plus because it had Kurt Russell in it, I'm a huge Kurt Russell fan. For those who don't know, I love Kurt Russell. I don't care if you tell him that. I just, you know, I've always liked him. You know, Snake Plissken. McGarity, was it? Who was in the thing? McGarry. Oh, yeah. Obviously Snake Plissken and Jack Burton. Todd as well from Soldier. Which, if you weren't aware, Soldier is actually set in the Blade Runner universe. So, and it's also connected in a way to Warhammer 40k, 30k, or more 40k. Well, maybe, I don't know, but mostly because the training that Todd received is pretty much the same as how the Imperial Scions or the old Stormtroopers were raised. McCready, that's it. Cheers. Wyatt, oh yeah, Wyatt. Tombstone. Oh my god, Tombstone is just fucking awesome. As Wyatt. But yeah, you know, and obviously Jack Burton. He's just brilliant. Yeah, just love that dude. And as I say, Snake Plissken, even in Escape from LA. Which was John Carpenter just sticking two fingers up at Hollywood again because they just wanted him to do it and he didn't want to, so he just remade it and just changed a few things so he wouldn't notice. But if you can see these things where people actually put them up side by side, the starts are practically the same. Number 5, please. Well, someone please get me out of this fucking couch. All in the reflexes. Yeah, no, that's yeah, but going back to what I was saying before we got on sidetracked by Kurt Russell, because he will do that. So because I'll just sidetrack myself then, because I was thinking Kurt Russell and I was thinking of Snake Plissken, and Snake Plissken was definitely used for Solid Snake in the Metal Gear Solid sort of things. And today I've been seeing loads of bloody memes of Jensen Ackles from his role as Soldier Boy in The Boys, and people were sticking a bandana on him saying, "Look, it's Snake. Let's use him for using in a Metal Gear Solid movie." I played Metal Gear Solid, the second one I played. Now, I honestly, when I got into that game, I thought it was, you know, super special because it was like, yeah, you do like, you know, covert operation stuff and all that business, but your objective is not to be caught; it's to sneak around and not be thing sort of thing. So it's like a challenge, because normally you just run around going, unloading semi-automatic weapons into people's faces. So I thought that I had no idea what Metal Gear was until I came across a Metal Gear later on in that game and was slightly disappointed because it was like, it's a giant robot chicken. You know, it's just like, well, it's not, no. What? Where did this come from? Because I had no idea what to expect in that game. So I played it, and I enjoyed the game. Apart from, obviously, you know, the look. It was the aesthetic more than anything. I think Metal Gear, I suppose, where I compare it to, there was a game called Heavy Gear, which was like a miniature game, sort of like BattleTech. So it was like connected that way. But the Metal Gear in that thing, just, it kind of like, you had this build up, and then you go, what the fuck? What the actual fuck? So yeah, it was weird. But then saying from there, Ubisoft brought out Splinter Cell, and that I absolutely loved. Splinter Cell. Old Sam, whatever his name was, going around and doing sneaky, which is, you know, again, such a change for just running around, just blowing their crap up like I normally do, because I am from the Leroy Jenkins school of gameplay. I will literally just go, fuck it, just run into every situation, just go, rah! Sometimes it works. That's what I keep telling myself anyway. But I am a team player. You know. I'll always, you know, put in a shift. I don't do these things just to, you know, go out and kill things. I like to kill things, but I like to help my team to secure the objective. Sam Fisher, cheers. Cheers, Chris. But yeah, those Splinter Cell games I really enjoyed, because I started playing them, funnily enough, oh my god, almost 18 years ago, because it was paternity leave. Not sure if it was the first child or the second child. It was one of them, and we was living temporarily at my mother-in-law's house, because it was near to where the hospital was, and it was a lot bigger than the flat that we had. So it was probably for the first one. So obviously in between helping out with bambinos and stuff, or bambino at the time, I would be occupying myself on the Xbox playing Splinter Cell and watching QI. Because that had just come out, or recently come out. Oh my god, so many years ago. It's actually my son's 18th birthday next month, which is quite scary. Then we got into Heavy Gear. BattleTech caught my eye. I do remember the HD Minis in Virgin Megastore. Dude, that's where I saw BattleTech and Heavy Gear, but mostly BattleTech in the Virgin Megastore in Oxford Street. Well, Oxford Street / Tottenham Court Road, because it went to both. You could go from one to the other. I always remember going upstairs to that, because whenever I used to go on my little visits to London, from London, where I'm from, the outskirts of London, into central London, I used to go when I was about 14. I just used to buy a travel card for about £3, and then I could go on buses and trains to my heart's content all around London. And so I just ventured off. I had no idea where I was going. It was all down to one of my brother's best mates, Simon. He took me into London once as a treat. I didn't have much when I was as a kid, and he basically saved up some pocket money and stuff, and took me out and bought me some toys, because he had a little sister, but because obviously he was so good friends with my brother, I was his little brother, so he wanted to treat me, and so he bought me some toys, took us into London, took me to some arcades, and that memory had stuck. And so I thought, I'll go into London and relive sort of day, sort of thing. And that's when I started my exploration of London town and finding interesting places to visit. So like Forbidden Planet, I did not know of its existence until I accidentally stumbled on it. And then I was like, every time I went down to London, it was go to there. And then obviously Tottenham Court, Oxford Street also had Warhammer or Games Workshop Plaza. So that sort of panned out, because that was my local Games Workshop store. I had to travel by train for 45 minutes to get into London, to get there. But yeah, the Tower Records down at Piccadilly Circus, the Trocadero in Piccadilly Circus as well. You know, the Virgin Megastore was like, it was, Virgin Megastore is like so hip and trendy and all that sort of thing. You just stand there wearing the headsets, listening to the latest tracks by some unknown band. But yeah, it was cool. But then obviously we're looking back with rose tinted spectacles. It probably wasn't that cool. I don't know. It seemed cool compared to today. But then, everyone has that, sepia tinted view of things. Where am I? I'm there. All right. Yeah, it was like you just wander around and see things and go, like you occasionally see famous people down there. I honestly, hand on my heart, swear that I saw Wesley Snipes on Oxford Street, and he was just standing there, like early days of Snipes becoming a sort of famous. So if you've seen his films, you knew who he was, sort of thing. That level before he'd done like the big sort of movies, like Blade. It was pre-Blade days. Although I think he might have done White Men Can't Jump. I don't know. I'm getting a bit fuzzy, but he was just literally. I was walking along and I saw this guy standing there. I'm looking at him as I'm walking along and looking at him. You go like, is that Wesley Snipes? Our eyes met, and he's looking at me. I'm looking at him, and you can see that look on someone's face, like, do I recognise you? And he just like smiled. He's like just nodded like that. I went, cool. Didn't even bother going over to say hi or anything like that. Just he's doing his own thing, and I thought, well, I don't want to disturb him. But yeah, that was crazy. And Sandy Toksvig, actually, with the QI connection. I was going towards Carnaby Street, and she was in front of us, crossing the road, and is when I realised just how short she is. She's short. I think only Office Painter is shorter. Sorry. I love him. Short and Sandy Toksvig. But yeah, apart from seeing other sort of people that you would recognise from TV series and stuff like more like working actors, because obviously there's a lot of theatres around that way. So you'd see the odd person here, there, and everywhere. I met Adrian Barbeau in an elevator in Chicago. She is also short, but juts out tremendously. We all come in all different shapes and sizes, which is good. It's nice to mix it up. Speaking of Escape from New York, do you have to escape? Or is there new news of a new Escape from New York remake? Let's pop this out as well while I'm here. Ah, yeah. I was just thinking afterwards. Ernest Borgnine as well, and Harry Dean Stanton. So, with as some of you know, I auditioned for Dave from the Winchester. Was it Winchester or was it the Windsor? No, actually, because that was something I was going to mention earlier on, Judge. Escape from Earth is the unmade prequel. She used to be married to Tom Carpenter. Escape from Earth got turned into Ghosts from Mars. Ghosts of Mars. Because again, he just got pissed off. All right, Arthur. Winchester. At the Winchester Club, yeah. As in the song. Arthur Daly, little dodgy maybe, but underneath he's all right. And that was made by the firm. Mozzie. Who else has got famous meetups as well? Come on, come out, admit them. We all know mine, the Repo Man, and also Brett in Alien. And the thing with Brett and Parker in Alien, they are what inspired Ty Frank to create The Expanse TV series, because he loved the idea of these, like, you know, basically like space grease monkeys, like going on about, like, you know, not making space as glamorous as it's always been led up to be. Up until Alien came out, it was like, spaceships fly here, there, we all wear snazzy outfits and all that. And these two guys are like going, so are we getting extra pay for this? And it does that realism of how it's become sort of normal. Where are you? Did I already cut you out? Did I already cut you out? There you are. There's a lesser known celebrity connection. I used to live next door but 2 houses from Lulu's mum and dad. And her son, Jordan, who was an actor, he was the son of, between Lulu and John Frieda, the hairdresser. He was an actor. Don't know if he's still acting, but he was an actor. He actually played William, Prince William, in like an early biopic type thing in the early 2000s. or late 90s. But he used to obviously hang out when he come to see his grandparents. So we used to, as the little scamps that lived down the street, my friend Russell, who lived next door to them, used to play with him when he came down to visit. Used to go into their house and see all the gold discs up on the wall. Yeah, absolutely. But she did sing one of my favourite James Bond films theme tunes, which was Man with a Golden Gun. She also sang one of my other favourite songs, which was The Man Who Sold the World, written by David Bowie, who was one of my favourite artists. I played backup percussion for Gloria Estefan in a song. Wow, that's actually pretty impressive, Sophist, mate. that is pretty cool. My godfather is very good friends with Liam Neeson. We had just been to see Phantom Menace the day it came out, and we were in the conservatory slagging it off. And my godfather came in and said, "With visitors, shut up." So we kept slagging it off. Next thing, Liam Neeson was stood behind and said, "Didn't like the movie much then, boys." Oh, fuck me. That to be fair, Liam Neeson was probably the best part in the movie. I absolutely loved his character. Qui-Gon. Met the crossbowman from Hawk the Slayer. William Morgan Shepherd was a character actor in various sci-fi roles. Swell fella. Told me dirty jet stories about their cars. So that's the good shit. Gary Gygax and Lou Ferrigno in a bar. That's pretty cool. Not sure if it really counts, but I bought a painting from the guy who did the bolt thrower artwork. Oh wow. Oh, name's gone. It wasn't Waning? It wasn't Waning, was it? When I was young, I was right. I was a trainee hairdresser and barber. I was aiming on the barbing, but when I was youth training scheme, I was working in the hairdressers. So I used to have to wash the ladies' hair and men's hair if they wanted it and all that. But this guy came in once, and he played drums in a band called Tea for the Wicked. Now, Tea for the Wicked were a Iron Maiden tribute band, right? And this is back in the 90s, so this is when Maiden were popular anyway. But this guy was actually, because Iron Maiden was formed in Walthamstow, so the story goes, and that's where I was living at the time. And this guy was approached by Bruce Dickinson to be the drummer for this band, and he turned him down, thinking that no, I can't do that, or you can't take the chance, or whatever like that. And he turned it down, and then they went on to become Iron Maiden, and the rest they say is history. And so at that time in the 90s, he's earning money playing in an Iron Maiden tribute band. So that's just like, wow, that's just a bit crazy. He gave me a glass of champagne and a bottle of wine. Nice. I used to do like sci-fi conventions and stuff for like associated with Babylon 5 in particular, and I had met Claudia Christian, who played Lieutenant Commander Susan Ivanova, and it was like one of the best characters in the show for 4 seasons, because she left. They didn't swear out a contract. But she was at, her and Patricia Tallman, or Pat Tallman, was at this small, brand new convention starting up called Star Fury, up in Leicester. And I stayed at this hotel in Leicester. It was right in the middle of town. It was like on main road going around it. I don't know. And they're in the bar this one night, and me and my mates, who have all gone there to see them, are on the table next to them, and they're sitting down having a drink, and there's people like just talking to them, and it was actually quite a nice atmosphere. It wasn't people being pushy. It was, you know, normal, courteous. You know, they're having a drink, don't disturb them. But they were speaking to a few people, and they're having this conversation. Now, for some reason, it was definitely my fault because it was my suggestion. Me and my 2 friends, Mike and Norm, for some reason we took cuddly toys with us, and we basically, like, I was wearing like these fucking like black and like urban camos with this green frog teddy bear sticking out one of the pockets, because I thought we'd do that. It just looks a little bit strange, but people will remember it. And we're sitting there at the table having a drink and all that. And for some reason, I jumped in onto their conversation, and I said, I bet I could stuff this toy frog into a pint glass. So I did that. And then Claudia Christian basically challenged me to stuff it into her sherry glass. So I went, all right, and I only got his head in there. So it's just like this teddy bear with this, like, its head all into this sherry glass. And yeah, I was just like, impress American actress by sticking a cuddly toy into a used sherry glass. But yeah, that was different. Something that, well, it's something I remembered. But I had met her a couple of times afterwards as well, and I had said I took that same teddy bear with us, and she actually looked after it for me at one small. It was like a little sort of cozy get-to in a pub in Westminster. And when she was like going to have a bit of a break and all that or something, or people had to queue up for autographs or whatever, I don't know. And I just reached over and said, like, oh, can you look after him for us? I'll get him in a bit. And she did. She looked after him, just sat next to her. Conversation starter. William M. Shepherd was in Babylon 5 as well. Babylon 5 had loads of people in there. Loads of people from not only Babylon 5 crossed over to Deep Space Nine. One of them, who was actually, he had a sort of he wasn't a major, he was an important character, but he wasn't, you know, General Haig. The guy who played General Haig also played an admiral in Deep Space Nine. He was the one where the changelings were infiltrating Starfleet, and Odo went to Earth. Terra went to Earth to help out with security stuff, and there was changes there, and he was a changeling. And his character, because he was double booked. Oh yeah, and Bester, yeah, Walter Koenig, you know, Walter Koenig came across, and he did. And so as Bester, he's a totally different character. You know, everyone knows Chekhov, but as Bester, he created something awesome there. He'd done a really great job with Bester, and he gave Bester quite a lot of depth. as an arsehole. Because he was a bit of a arsehole. Yeah, so they actually, because there was a conflict, he was already signed up to do the stint on DS9, and they couldn't get him for doing the episodes they needed him for in B5. They had to they killed his character off. Yeah, Bester was quite interesting, because it's not until later series, and you can see he's got his own not a agenda, but he's trying to do what's best for his people, the psychics, the psychers in the world, the telepaths, because that was going to be after like the main story arc finished in season 4. Well, season 3 and a little bit into season 4. It was going to go into the telepath war, but then TNT basically said, "Nope, that's it. You're not gonna get a 5th season," and it completely destroyed the flow of the whole thing, because they reinstated it, but they'd already filmed the final 3 episodes because he wanted to finish his series that he had. So he basically cut things and stuff. It completely destroyed the storytelling element. He always said he needed 5 seasons. It was popular. It was a popular sci-fi show as well, and they didn't know they were going to cut it, and yeah, completely destroyed it at the same time. Because after season 5, I find it hard to actually watch season 5. Because of what happened. I'll watch the, Sleeping in Light, or I'm not sure if they kept that one, because they changed. They done the 3 and then they moved them, didn't they? But Sleeping in Light, which is the main one, but Deconstruction of Falling Stars was the interesting one, because that was the one where they go through time, seeing what happens, the events of what happened and how it affected the galaxy and stuff, which was pretty unique and different to the norm. And hopefully Straczynski will get his chance to actually redo it. I don't know what's actually happening. I haven't really looked up recently. I know there's been a bit of, because everyone's waiting for it to be greenlit. He's pulled up the interest, but Straczynski's a really good writer. He's done a load of really, really good shows. But yeah, it's just how it's going to pan out on that side of things. I would like to have seen more involving the Narn, the Vorlons, even the Minbari. I would, because I know there's been talk about redoing Battlestar Galactica again, which seems a bit odd. They've done a really great series in the late noughties. Award-winning, gritty as fuck, and a very popular show. Although again, the ending people found a bit like, what's going on? I remember when B5 was showing and they started getting into the really big space battles, rendered an awesome Amiga computer. Yeah. And DS3 started copying the thing. Yeah, well, that's the thing. DS9 was a bit lost in the wilderness. It's like with the first season's a little bit like, what the hell's going on? But then again, on B5, the first season is like setting the universe and letting us know what's going on, and this, that, and the other. Obviously, the guy who played Sinclair had issues and couldn't continue, so they had to swap him out for the legend that is Bruce Boxleitner, who is like my childhood hero, along with Kurt Russell. Oh, it's been confirmed, Tricia Heffer. Oh. They actually done a mini-series set as a prequel where William Adama was a rookie pilot called Blood and Chrome. That was actually quite good. There was only like 3 episodes, but I really enjoyed that. That was really quite interesting to see. And one of the guy who played young Adama was actually in Skins, and I used to love watching Skins. Didn't really get that well into Caprica, but yeah, there was a good series. BSG, B5, DS9. But it just seems odd that they're remaking BS9, Battlestar Galactica, so soon. Really, something that was considered to be really cool and groovy, and redoing it seems odd. Very strange indeed. Sorry. Right. Reaver head magnets, countersunk and Polari grid, bollocks to us. That's magnets for you. They're not meant to be fun, they're meant to be endured. Going over the top there, surely. I don't magnetize weights. When there, I had a gate there. Yeah. Oops, sorry. Bang bang. That's 6. I haven't magnetized a single waist joint on any Titans of mine. Heads and weapons is likely sufficient. Yes. Well, I'd never even bothered with heads, but if you're going to be going along the way of swapping out and making them more demonic looking. Oh, that's not sounding good. Looks like it's going to be raining soon. I did the Hounds and Dial with articulated waists, but they have holes already. My mate spotted where the designer got the idea for the mini hull turrets from Real World Vehicle. Oh, really? Which one? I ordered my Charybdis earlier today. Not sure how practical it will be, but it will look bloody cool doing whatever it does. I did mention that about you and your Charybdis purchase. I'm still debating on whether or not to do it the same myself. January Vision was trying to make his 40k Warhound last week. I wonder if he actually finished it. Well, it's all down to what parts you're trying to magnetize. Obviously, it's the bigger Titans are harder to magnetize at times, unless you've got the right tools for the job. Smaller ones, same. just smaller. I'm not even going to try and guess, because I know I won't be able to. Yeah, it's just, like on Reavers especially, there's a lot of drilling, and Warhounds, because initially with my my AT experience, I never magnetized a Titan Warhound until my 5th Legio, which was Osidax. And it was purely because of the advent or incoming of Ursus Claws. So all the ones before Osidax, so Solaria, Ignatum, Kratos, and Vulturum, they were all not magnetized. So actually on Twitter, where I posted up earlier on about Legio Walks things, and Rue had replied to it, I posted up some extra pictures, which were the loyalists holding their certificates, the official photos that Warhammer community had taken for their article of my Solaria battle group, and my scout engine winning scout engine, which was a Warhound armed with a flamestorm cannon and turbo laser, I think, and a picture of me holding my 2 glass trophies for obviously getting the best scout engine award and my 2nd place best army. So yeah, great times. So, and that was my first official GW event as well. But that I don't know, because I'd been to Conflict twice, but that was doubles. This was my first solo thing, and it was my first campaign weekend. I'd never done a campaign weekend, so yeah, it was first campaign weekend at Warhammer World on my own. 28mm Titans are fun, only models I seriously use power tools on. Lots of fun. They are lots of fun. And we like doing the Titan walks together. So, actually, Phil was around earlier. I don't know if he's still lurking or anything, but he was about. Boy Racer. How quaint. Oh, bugger. Ah, you are still about. There you are. So with the Titan walks, Phil's my normal. Well, he likes to walk alongside me because he knows that everyone will be shooting me. Basically, he learnt that, and that lesson was learnt. Was relearnt at Beachhead in February this year, where everybody shot me and left him alone for one whole turn. They just, he had more Titans than I did, and they all focused fire on me. And then the Greetings of the Warp Walk. Phil was at the other end of the table. With he had his boy Evan with him. Evan, Destroyer of Warlords, as his official title is. And so I had Rob alongside me, and Rob had a great time. Although I think we got equal shooting there because his Warhounds did get a smattering of shots, but then again he had rushed them into two other Warhounds. And all the Warlords were thinking, oh, they're just small little doglegs. We'll kill them because they're easy to kill. But one of them was very hard to kill, and he actually survived. His pack partner took they both took a lot of shots. Ablative armor, yes. Yeah, so in the one with Phil, at the game's end, we had lost one Titan, which was Iracundus, and he went on the very last sort of firing shooting phase. But we had destroyed, I think, 5 or 6 Titans we killed. One of them we didn't kill. Someone else had, John Ball had took out Death Knell. But yeah, we took out 5, I think 6 on our side of the table for the loss of 1. And we were actually in a really good position as well. So we were going to have our 4 hounds just basically running up behind a line of so it was 2 Reavers, 4 Warhounds, and a Banner of Knights that we killed. And we were, if we'd gone another turn, we would have been in amongst them, behind them, and just opening up and destroying them. They were in a very bad situation. We were easily in the ascendancy, and we would have destroyed them all. And I could say that because there's no way we could have not destroyed them all. Because Warhounds against Warlords, when you've got manoeuvrability on your side, they've got nowhere to turn. If they turn to face us, they're going to be shot by our heavy Titans in the side or the rear armor, or they're going to get shot in the rear by 4 Warhounds. So that was it. They were fucked. And then when me and Rob played, we lost 1 Warhound of Rob's, and we took out 2 Hounds, a Reaver, and 4 Warlords. So we did all right. We done well. So yeah, that's why Rob and Phil like playing alongside. I'm a lucky fucker. And I draw a lot of fire. Yeah, no worries, Mac. Thanks for hanging out, and lovely to see your. Check out his stuff on Twitter, and you're on Instagram as well, aren't you? Because he's got some excellent Vulturum stuff he's doing. Oh, got an ant. Go away, ant. You're free. Throw him outside. But yeah, thanks for hanging out, dude. And we'll see. What's it? Well, it's Wednesday, isn't it? So yes, see you on Saturday if you're about. Take it easy, dude. Laura. I have to make another Reaver Carapace Bolter for Simon this time. Getting quite good at making them. Should start a little side business. What? That ant again. You can run ants, but you can't hide. It's such a tank. It's nice having a little quiet evening for hobby with all you lot. Oh. Alright. This little pupper in. Yeah, no worries, mate. I'm probably going to call it there now anyway, because I'm getting a bit of a headache myself. Titanium tweezers are a must-be magnet, so helpful. Yeah, I might actually look into that actually. Yes, I'm going to call it there because yeah, I'm getting a little bit of a headache. So we got through most of the build, so that's the main part. Just the top sections, weapons and turret, which I'll try and get done between now and Saturday, so I can actually start painting this bastard. So yeah, I'm gonna bugger off. So so thank you once again, everyone, for coming and hanging out and doing some hobby on a Wednesday night. I hope you have had a good time and enjoyed yourselves here. It's always great to see you all and interact with you in the chat and stuff. And Night Hall had the best sleep myself the last 2 nights, so turning myself in. Yeah, not that, yeah, that's quite a lot, yeah. So until Saturday, I will see you all then, and I wish you all the best for your hobby exploits until then. So night night, take care, and auf Wiedersehen, pet.